Welcome back to the Call of Duty Classroom. I'm Queen Diamond Dust, and today we're doing a deep dive into Search and Destroy, the most tactical, high-stakes game mode in Call of Duty. If you've ever felt like you're just holding your team back when you're playing Search and Destroy, then this video will give you the tools that you need to step up your game. Search and Destroy is not just about running and gunning, okay? It's about making smart moves, smart plays, making sure you position yourself right, understanding your role as a teammate, and those clutch moments when you have to just get it all together, stay calm, and push through. While I've been grinding ranked, I've been testing strategies and learning what actually works in Search and Destroy. And lucky for you, I'm going to share all of that in this masterclass today. You'll be thinking smarter, moving cleaner, and winning more matches. Let's talk about mindset and objective. Search and Destroy is not a mode that you can play on autopilot. It's chess, not checkers. And what do I mean by that? Every move matters. A big mistake that a lot of players make, especially when they're new to the ranked grind, is running around like it's team deathmatch. They're just looking for kills instead of playing the objective. You don't want to forget that the real objective here is to either plant the bomb or defend from them planting it. When you focus on the objective first, your plays start to feel more calculated. When you're thinking right, even one smart rotation can win the round. Patience is also a huge factor here. When you rush through every round, you just end up feeding the enemy kills, and we don't want to do that. Instead, slow down, play for information, and let the enemy make the first mistake. One thing that I see a lot of inexperienced players do is they play like they have no role on the team. Every player in Search and Destroy has a role, believe it or not, even if you're solo queuing. The most aggressive player is usually what's called the entry frag. This one is the first one through the door or into the mid zone, looking for opposition. Their job is to clear choke points and make an opening for the bomb carrier. Now, this role is risky, but it actually makes a way for the bomb carrier, who's the most important. The support role is just as important as the entry frag. This is the teammate who follows the entry frag and follows up on trades and makes sure that no deaths are wasted. Just kind of clears the way for everyone else as well. Finally, the anchor or the backline player is the player who controls the flank. They watch rotations and make sure that the team doesn't get blindsided. So now I want to talk about map awareness and positioning. Map knowledge is power in Search and Destroy. If you don't know your key power spots, sight lines, and choke points, then you're playing at a disadvantage. The best players aren't just accurate, they're positioned correctly as well. When you push into a lane, don't overcommit too early. Take space slowly and play for information. Did you hear any footsteps? Did you see any snipers holding sights? These little reads can decide whether you rotate or push forward. Here's another tactic that you can use with your teammates. Set up your crossfire so that if one of you goes down, the enemy is instantly exposed to the second person's fire. So the next topic is attack versus defense strategies. When you're attacking, the worst thing you could possibly do is sprint into a bomb site without clearing the choke points. Good teams will always have their angles covered. Make sure you check those common spots before committing to a push. Sometimes it's not about just brute forcing your way through. Sometimes it's about faking a push. Making noise with a stun at A while you quietly rotate over to B can be a game changer. While you're planting, think about the post-plant position. Don't just slap the bomb down anywhere, okay? Make sure you plant the bomb in a spot where your team can defend it from safe cover. When you're defending a bomb site, patience is key. Discipline will win every time. One common mistake is overstacking one bomb site while you leave the other one wide open. Unless you've noticed a consistent pattern in the enemy's plays, don't gamble like this. When you gamble everything on a guess when holding sites, you're going to end up regretting it. Now, after the bomb is planted, don't rush in blind, okay? Use your utilities, clear the angles, and only defuse when it's safe. Now, Now, utility is massively underrated in ranked. The right placed flash or stun can really throw off the enemy team and open up lines of sight without you even firing a single bullet. And don't forget about your equipment. If you tend to run out of bullets very easily, make sure you take an assault pack with you. Otherwise, run a trophy system, and don't forget to use it at the bomb site. Something that I've learned from many years of playing Search and Destroy is clutch mentality. Clutches are where legends are made. So the biggest key is actually staying calm. When you can stay more calm than the other person, you control the gunfight. The reality is, most people get a little bit nervous when they're playing competitive in Search and Destroy, even if they don't admit it. So if you can control your mindset to believe that you can overpower the others, you usually will. In a 1v2 or a 1v3 situation, panicking almost always leads to a loss, so don't do that, okay? Instead, slow the game down. If you're defending, that's even better. Use your sound cues. Listen for footsteps, glass breaking, or doors opening. Usually, this signals there's an enemy nearby. Also, try to isolate your fights if you can. Whenever possible, don't fight two people at once. Usually, this leads to a loss. Instead, try to isolate each enemy and break it down into one duel at a time. And, most importantly, take a deep breath. Breathe and take a second before you make the next move. Confidence in clutch situations comes from experience, but it also comes from trust in your fundamentals. When you know your maps and your positioning, and you play your role well, you can usually come out on top. When you know your maps and positioning, and you use your class to its fullest advantage, usually you'll come out on top. And that is your Search and Destroy Masterclass, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell 'em run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but